The advancements of anesthesia and anesthesiologists. The wonders of anesthesia. Before October 16th of 1846, surgery was a horrible thing to go through. We had no medicine to kindle our pain, let alone childbirth. On October 16th of 1846, Dr. William T. Morton was the first in the world to publicly and successfully demonstrate the wonders of anesthesia. Modern medicine and surgery would not be where it is today without his discovery. The first signs of any type of anesthesia during surgery can be traced back to the 1200s. Dr. Theodoric used sponges soaked with opium and mandarin from the mandrake plant for surgical pain relief. Before the mid-1800s, all surgeons could offer was opium. More than opium was alcohol or something to bite on to deal with the agonizing pain of someone cutting into you. Britain's Daily Mail describes medicine during the Civil War as a blood-curdling range of saws, knives, and sharp hooks were used to administer much-needed surgery maimed fighters. Like I said, the first surgery using successful anesthesia was October 16th in 1846. What led to this discovery was William T. Morton called his creation Letheon, named after the Lethe River of Greek mythology, noted for its waters that could erase painful memories. What Dr. Morton did was he started by buying ether from a local chemist, today known as a pharmacist, and began experimenting by exposing himself and a lot of different pets to its fumes. When Morton finally was satisfied with how safe and reliable it was, he started using this on his dental patients. This got him lots of money because soon everyone heard about how he could cure toothaches without causing any more pain. Morton was happy with his financial success, but he quickly realized that Letheon was good for more than just pulling teeth. Dr. Morton hoped to make tons of money off his discovery, but he ran into many upsets and barriers before and afterwards. Eventually, Dr. Morton started working with other dentist, Dr. Horace Wells, and in 1845, just 1 year before the first successful surgery with anesthesia, Morton and Wells had been experiencing with nitrous oxide, otherwise known as laughing gas. But they failed miserably at a demonstration at Harvard Medical School when they couldn't deaden the pain of a subject who was having his teeth pulled. In 1844, Morton remembered the lecture that he had heard about how solvent sulfuric ether could render a person unconscious or even insensible to pain, and that is what led to Morton's discovering of successful anesthesia. The next large advancement of anesthesia was in 1847. When obstetrician who specializes in childbirth and the female reproductive system, James Y. Simpson, started giving women chloroform to erase the pain of childbirth. The discovery of chloroform was discovered independently in 1831 by USA's Samuel Gerthau, France's Eugene Soberian, and Germany's Justus von Liebig. After Dr. Simpson started using chloroform during childbirth, it became very popular during surgery and dental procedures. One next invention that changed medicine was the invention of the hollow hypodermic needle, which could be attached to the syringe. This invention by Dr. Charles Praves and Dr. Alexander Wood allowed for pain management medicine much easier, and anesthesia to go directly into the bloodstream. This also allowed for quicker results to pain. All these discoveries were very interesting and very useful, but the one I found most interesting was how in 1844 Dr. Carl Kohler introduced cocaine as an anesthetic for surgery. Why I found this most interesting was because they didn't know the dangers and the results that it has today about how it kills more and harms more than what it helps. Though today we still use cocaine in some surgeries, but that is not how they used to use it. Today, if used at all, it is only about 4% of the anesthesia. In 1898, Dr. Auguste Bier conducted the first spinal tap using cocaine, and 10 years later, he popularized his intravenous regional block. One large accomplishment in modern medicine happened in 1914. Dr. Dennis E. Jackson developed a carbon dioxide absorbing anesthetic system. This system allowed for CO2 to be cleansed while under surgery. Before this, CO2 was just circulating in the human body while they were undergoing surgery. This system allowed for a patient to rebreathe their exhaled air and containing the anesthetic, which cleansed the carbon dioxide and resulted in less use of anesthetic and less waste. Dr. Isabel Erb in 1923 also demonstrated the remarkable translate state that low-dose ethylene oxygen could induce in human subjects. Then in 1956, Dr. Michael Johnstone clinically induced halothane, which is the world's first modern-day brominated general anesthetic. After the modern-day general anesthetic was introduced, in 1972, isoflurane was clinically introduced as an inhalation anesthetic. And then about 20 years later, in 1992, desflurane was clinically introduced as inhalational anesthetic as well. Later, in 1994, finally, a medicine called sevoflurane was also introduced as another inhalation anesthetic. So between 1846 and now, there have been many discoveries with anesthesia, which makes it safer, cleaner, and more comfortable for patients. We have gone from having to bite on a bullet to being able to be straight under surgery without feeling any of the pain of somebody cutting into you. There have been many discoveries in the past to improve anesthesia, and I'm sure that there will be many more. Now on to anesthesiology and anesthesiologist as a job. So first, the schooling you have to go through is quite a lot of schooling. You have to go through first by going through 4 years of undergrad school. In this, you can select any bachelor's degree, but it is highly encouraged that you choose something close to medicine. The need for anesthesiologists in the world today is so great that some schools offer a 6-year program to combine your undergrad school and medical school. Without this program, medical school is another 4 years on top of your undergrad school. After medical school, you then go through residency, which is an additional 4 years for anesthesiologist. The cool thing is that you can choose to be a general anesthesiologist after residency, or which you would be going through lots of surgeries, or you can choose to specialize in just one type of surgery. I think that myself, I would choose to do biochemical engineering or chemical engineering as my undergrad degree, and I hope to be able to go through the 6-year program. After residency, they can attend the specialized schooling that is called fellowship, which is to improve their skills in different types of surgery or on different types or parts of the body. Anesthesiologists typically attend 4 years of residency, and if they want to become more specialized, they can attend a 2-year fellowship. I go forward. Okay. The different salary for anesthesiologists. The highest paid personnel typically are in the areas with higher population, so higher population equals more money. The highest paid anesthesiologists are in San Francisco, California, with an average salary of $405,915. The lowest paid anesthesiologists are in Brownsville, Texas, with a salary of $286,566, which is still a lot of money. and the average salary of an anesthesiologist in Ohio is $378,500. Typical qualifications to be an anesthesiologist. One common misconception is that anesthesiologist is not a doctor. That is false. An anesthesiologist, all of them, have to go through 4 years of college and 4 years of medical school. It takes 8 years of post-secondary school to make a doctorate. They also have to be certified by the American Board of Anesthesiology, meaning that they have to pass a given test in order for them to be able to practice medicine. In those 4 years of college, they have to achieve an undergraduate degree in some sort of science or something related to that field. After that, they go through 4 years of medical school. And then after that, they go through 4 years of residency. There are also non-essential qualifications that come with being an anesthesiologist as well. You have to be able to understand pain, because somebody who will be going through surgery, you have to be able to understand what type of pain they will be going through. Also, you have to have a very compassionate attitude in order to make their experience as smooth as possible and as painless as possible. Anesthesiologists are the doctors you will see right before surgery. They will explain the process and the anesthesia that they will give you through it. So in order to be an anesthesiologist, you have to have excellent communication skills. Also, they are faced with challenges along the way with surgery, with putting somebody under. There will also arrive complications. All anesthesiologists also have to have very good problem-solving skills. It is also worthy to mention that in 10 years, which will be around the time that I will become an anesthesiologist, the need for anesthesiologists will increase about 4%. But the thing is that the pay will probably go down because that there is also a need for NRNAs and other anesthesiologists or anesthesia helping people. Functions monitored by the anesthesiologist. So, anesthesiologists monitor a lot of things. There are a lot of things that an anesthesiologist has to monitor in order to make sure that you are safe. They have to regulate the heart rate and rhythm, the patient's breathing, their blood pressure, the body temperature, and their fluid balance to make sure that dehydration is not a danger. Responsibilities and duties of the anesthesiologist. Becoming an anesthesiologist is hard enough, but assuming the responsibility of one is even harder. Of course, the number one responsibility of an anesthesiologist is providing the anesthesia. They also have to review the patient history. This will help them know if the patient has any heart issues or other organ issues that will make the surgery complicated. It is also important to recognize the patient's height and weight if you're an anesthesiologist, so that they know how much anesthesia to give the person without harming them, or to know if they are giving them enough. Documentation is also everything for an anesthesiologist. They have to take notes before and after and during the surgery. This can help keep track of everything and keep it organized. Another big one is providing on-call ability. People are getting hurt all day, every day, and there is also always a need for anesthesia. That is why the ability to be able to be called in the middle of the night is very important. And lastly, they have to be skilled in various other clinical skills. This is because they are also in need of clinical duties and checkups on patient to make sure that post-surgery is doing well. Thank you for tuning in and watching.